American football is a game that's just as much about gaining territory as it is about scoring points. When the two teams are on the football field, they battle for every inch it takes to move the ball down the field. Each team defends the side of the field that is behind them as they try to invade the field that's in front of them. Ultimately, they want to gain enough ground to score points by throwing a touchdown into the end zone or kicking a field goal through the goalposts. It's often said that football is a game of inches played on a field that's measured in yards. Teams succeed or fail based on how many yards they can accumulate or how many yards they allow. Some football fields are covered in natural grass and set in an outdoor, open-air stadium, and some fields are covered in artificial turf and enclosed indoors inside a dome. The football field is also referred to as a gridiron because of its similarity in appearance to an actual gridiron. A football field is a rectangular field that has a total length of 120 yards long by 53.5 yards wide. The field is divided up every 5 yards by a yard line, and right down the center is the 50-yard line. Different parts of the field include the sideline. The sideline is a 6-foot wide boundary line that runs the length of each side of the football field. The end line is a 6-foot wide boundary line that connects the two parallel sidelines. The end line and sideline compose the rectangular shape of the field. Two pylons flank the end of the end line. If any part of a player with the football touches the sidelines or the end line during a play, they are marked as out of bounds. When a player with the ball goes out of bounds, the play is over and the game clock stops. The goal line is an 8-inch wide line that runs across the front of the end zone. Two pylons flank the end of the goal line. The end zone is the most important part of the field. This is where the points are scored. When the team that has possession of the ball gets the ball into the opponent's end zone, they score points. The end zones are two 10-yard wide areas at each end of the field inside the end line. The end zone behind a team with the ball is that team's end zone, and the end zone ahead of a team is its opponent's end zone. In the 100 yards between the goal lines, hash marks on either side of the field mark each yard. Between each play, the football is always placed on or between the hash marks before the start of the next play. This ensures that the teams have space to line up on both sides of the football. At every 5th yard, a solid white line runs from sideline to sideline, and at every 10 yards, those lines are numbered. This crosshatch of lines gives the field its gridiron nickname. Centered at the back of the end zone is a goalpost that extends 10 feet high and connects with a horizontal crossbar. On each end of the 18-foot, 6-inch crossbar is an upright post that rises to a height of 30 feet above the ground. A 4-inch by 42-inch ribbon is tied to the top of each upright. This is to ensure that a field goal kicker can see between the goalposts, and since the ribbons flutter in the wind, the kicker can judge in which direction he should kick the ball in order to get it through the uprights. Now that you've learned about the field, let's talk about the most important piece of equipment on the field, the football. The football is an oblong sphere and is about 11.5 inches long. It weighs between 14 and 15 ounces and is made up of an inflated polyurethane bladder placed in a cowhide covering and laced with grit cord material, which is cotton thread covered with vinyl. All official NFL footballs are made by the Wilson Sporting Goods Company factory in Ada, Ohio. In this factory, Nothing is automated, and all production is done by hand. Now that you've learned about the field and the ball, let's move on to the next lesson, the game format.